Doctor.
Hello.
जी sir.
The videos, I think it is visible video also.
Yes sir, yes sir. Sir, अब आप ले
But participants.
Sir, screen share कीजिए sir. Yes sir, please continue. सर आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कीजिए सर, पहले आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Okay sir, welcome.
So yeah. So this is the state-wise raw silk production during the last 3 years. As it is evident from the table, you can see that Karnataka has been a leader in the silk production over the years, followed by Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu in terms of mulberry sericulture. Whereas if you can see this in terms of Vanya sericulture, Assam has been on the leading trend, followed by Jharkhand. Our Jammu and Kashmir state has produced 118 metric tons during 1919 and 1920. Why it is okay. This with regard to the global silk production, if you can see, there are only 2 leaders, or we can say the maximum production or production share is shared by China and India. And now some non-traditional countries have also come up. That is the Uzbekistan in terms of silk production. But if you can see, the India is on a continuous growth track in comparison to other countries, which have been witnessing a decline in production. Even as compared to China, India is in the up track. Okay. So where do we find the silk? As evident, as you can see, where do we find the silk? Asia is the main producer in the world, which produces around 95% of total output. There are on the map, there are 40 countries which produce silk, but majority, as I said, it is produced by the China. China is the leading supplier of the silk in the world. In India, mulberry is produced in 5 traditional sericulture states like Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Jammu and Kashmir, and West Bengal. Whereas in case of non-mulberry sericulture, it is produced in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and northeastern states. Why sericulture? Why a farmer should choose sericulture? Well, there are innumerable attributes associated with the sericulture occupation. Like some of them are like high employment potential. In India, 94 lakh persons they are engaged with the sericulture occupation. It has been estimated that 11 persons are required to produce 1 kg of raw silk throughout the year. And this employment generation, no other industry has this kind of employment generation potentiality. Hence, we can simply say that sericulture can be used as a tool for rural reconstruction. Another attribute is that sericulture provides vibrancy to the village economies. If you can see in the pie chart, 57% of the gross value of the silk fabric flows back to the cocoon grower. That means the large chunk of the income goes back to villages from the cities. Or simply we can say it is the transfer of the money from rich to the poor. One more attribute is that it is having its low gestation, low investment and high returns. It is estimated that if we invest around 12,000 to 15,000 rupees, that would be sufficient for undertaking mulberry cultivation and silkworm rearing in 1 acre of irrigated land. And as you might be knowing, mulberry takes only 6 months to grow for commencement of silkworm rearing. And once we plant the mulberry, it can support your rearing for around 15 to 20 years. In the tropical conditions, 5 to 6 crops are taken. Even a farmer, if he goes for some managing some pruning schedule, he can go for 11 to 12 crops per year. Under our temperate conditions, like in Jammu and Kashmir, we can take 3 crops, but though it is not being done here, but 3 crops can be taken over here. By adopting this stipulated package of practice, a farmer can attain a net income levels up to rupees 12 lakhs under multiple cropping system. Then another attribute is that sericulture is an ideal program for weaker sections of the society. Even with a low land holding, sericulture can be practiced. If a person is having a 1 acre of mulberry garden, he can support a family of 3 without hiring a labor. It has a lot of features like low gestation, low investment, high returns. These are some features which make sericulture an ideal program for weaker sections of the society. As you can see, there are vast land or vast forests available, tussar forests available. If these tussar forests available, particularly in the northeastern states, if we can judiciously exploit these tussar forests, this can offer a supplementary gainful employment for tribals, particularly. Another attribute is that it is eco-friendly activity. As you know that mulberry, it's a perennial plant. It has good foliage. It has good root spread. It can conserve the soil and provide green cover. Even the wastes from the silkworm rearing, they can be recycled into the mulberry garden for taking up the rearing activity. And being the labor intensive and predominantly agriculture based activity, it involves very less smoke emitting machineries. And even one more is that mulberry, being a deep-rooted perennial plant, it can be raised in vacant land, hill slopes, watershed areas. Currently, only 0.1% of the arable land in the country is under mulberry cultivation. Role of women in sericulture. It is the fact that traditions and the customs in the Indian rural areas, majority of the women are not allowed to work outdoors. They are forced to stay within the 4 walls of their house and forced to do only household work like cooking, washing, taking care of the children, supervision of the children, collecting water, drinking water, bringing firewood, etc. In simple terms, it would not be wrong to say, if we say women in Indian rural areas are like unpaid laborers. They work like unpaid laborers. Now the sericulture, it could be a viable enterprise for women who can carry out this activity in addition to their attending their own household works, because it is a subsidiary occupation. As you can see in the pie chart, percentage involvement of the women in different sericulture activities. You can see around 69% of the women are involved in the post-harvesting sector or that off-farm sector, like reeling, spinning, silk throwing, silk weaving, dyeing, etc. God has bestowed woman with some innate qualities, with some good qualities, like she has maternal instincts. woman performs her task skillfully. She handles things with very utmost care and delicacy. These are some of the attributes, these are some of the qualities which make a woman very much suitable for sericulture industry. As you all know that silk is lauded as the queen of textiles. And to produce this queen of textiles, nearly 60% of the labor force is shared by the women folk. As you know that 11 persons are required for every kg of raw silk. To produce 1 kg of raw silk, we need 11 persons, out of which 6 are women. And out of total 94 lakh persons who are engaged in the sericulture in India, 56 to 57 lakh are women. Here, we can proudly say that sericulture promotes the doctrine of egalitarianism. That is nothing but equality, masawat, by providing equal opportunities for all. These are some of the success stories which I would like to share with you. One success story for this encouragement of the students. One success story I will simply read. This is a Chandana from Andhra Pradesh. Just 10 pass. He's having 4 acres of land. He started sericulture activity in 1984 due to high production cost and low income from the sugarcane, paddy, and maize cultivation. He practiced 5 crop schedule per year with brushing up 300 DFLs per acre per crop. Then his income and harvested an average cocoon yield of 75 to 80 kgs per 100 DFLs, that is 1 ounce. By practicing bivolta and sericulture, his annual income increased from 1 lakh to 12 lakhs per annum. These earnings from sericulture helped him to give education, marriage, and individual house to his siblings. After adopting sericulture, the farmer and his family became self-sufficient and improved their socio-economic status and are leading a secure life. This was one of the success stories I shared with you. Some of the interesting facts I would like to share with you is that silkworm, as already I have told you, it lays around 400 to 500 eggs at a time. In an area size of your laptop monitor screen, around 20 moths would deposit more than 10,000 eggs, each about size of a pinhead. Within the time span of 3 to 4 weeks, the larva is about 10, as I already discussed it grows about 10,000 times heavier than when it was hatched. This growth rate is the highest in the animal kingdom. The cocoon is made up of single continuous filament, as I told you that raw silk, it is around 1 kilometer long. The filament which comes out of the cocoon, it is around more than 1 kilometer long. One more interesting fact is that annual production represents 70 billion miles of the silk filament. 70 billion miles. At distance well over 300 round trips to the sun. 300 बार हम सन पे जा करके आ सकते हैं अगर हम दुनिया की पूरी प्रोडक्शन को मिला करके बांध करके ले जाएंगे तो. Based on 1 kilometer per cocoon, if we join 10 cocoons together, the filament of 10 cocoons together, we could theoretically extend vertically to the height of a Mount Everest. और silk important इतना shimmering appearance कैसे होता है? It is because this shimmering appearance is because the fibers triangular prism-like structure, which allows silk to refract incoming light at different angles. Silk is so small, it's very fine, about 10 nanometers in diameter. Silk is considered as biosteel because it is the strongest. It is tensile strength is very strong. The silk is the strongest natural fiber which is known to man till date. Silk is much lower in density compared to cotton, wool, or nylon. It is therefore highly moisture absorbent. It can absorb as much as third of its own weight in the moisture without feeling damp. Silk is considered as, it is lauded as high value but low volume product. Silk has a minuscule percentage of, it is only global textile percentage में से 0.2% it is produced. Yet, the actual trading value of the silk and silk products is in many billions of dollars, since the unit price of the raw silk is roughly 20 times that of the raw cotton. Then coming to the final product of the silkworm rearing, that is the cocoon. It is this cocoon is basically composed of two main proteins. One is fibroin and another is sericin. This fibroin constitutes around 70 to 80%, and that of the sericin is 20 to 30%. This fibroin is nothing but considered as true silk protein, which remains actually जो हम silk पहनते हैं, that is nothing but a fibroin. Whereas the gummy protein that is removed during the degumming process, later on in the weaving process, in the reeling process, that is sericin, soluble non-filamentous protein or gummy protein, and it also includes some amount of fat and waxes, inorganic solvents or coloring matter. The difference between the two proteins lies in the composition of the amino acids. In the silk filament, the double, if you can see in the figure, the double strand of the fibroin is covered by sericin or silk gum. Rearing of silkworms on semi-synthetic diet or nutrient. This is the technology actually which was developed by the Silkworm Physiology and Product Diversification Research Center during the year 2005. CSRT, at the CSRT Mysore, in the lab where I worked for my PhD during that time. This technology, who happened to be ex-director of CSRT Behrampur Center Silk Board. This technology is developed for the chalky rearing worms. First and second star worms, this technology is developed. Now the question arises, why silk semi-synthetic dyes? Why we should go for semi-synthetic diet? The first of its attribute is that it is semi-synthetic in nature. It is a semi-synthetic feed. It is not synthetic diet as was prepared by the earlier scientists in the Japan and China. It contains semi-synthetic, it's organic mulberry leaf powder in addition to other gelling agent like it contains this China grass and other ingredients, nutrients. It's an alternative feed with balanced nutritional nutrients. And this technology can save the labor and time up to 60%. Here we require only 4 feedings during chalky. Chalky is the first and second star rearing of the first and second star worms. Here we require only 4 feedings during the whole chalky, against the 12 feedings in leaf rearing. Leaf rearing में हमें 14 rearings चाहिए, यहाँ पे 4 rearings चाहिए. Here no bed cleaning is done, hence we don't have chances of missing larva. Here we don't need to maintain the separate chalky garden as is done in the leaf rearing. Economic characters of the silkworms, it has been seen that they are at par with that of the leaf-reared worms. And this has been found to be the best alternative for chalky rearing centers. And one more thing is that it is economical only for the chalky rearing, and it doesn't become economical in the late age rearing. These are some of the photographs like Baishang on the nutrient for the first day. It looks like जैसे मेहंदी बिछा देते हैं इसके ऊपर. You can see exposing the layings, then first feeding, then after feeding, then tapping, making the bed, and after bed makeup, you can see. And fortunately, my photograph is also, while we were resuming the worms with fresh diet, it is during 2005. These are after the chalky rearing is over, then we have to transfer the worms to the leaf. This is a larva crawling onto the mulberry leaf. Later in the late age rearing, we have to transfer them to mulberry leaf. Now coming to the value addition, this is an important part of actually the recent trends in sericulture. Value addition through product diversification in sericulture. As you know that silkworm pupae, it is a transitional stage between silkworm larva and adult. Commercially, this Sericulture pupa is killed or stifled inside the cocoon by the process called as stifling or cocoon drying, in order to prevent the emergence of the moth through cocoon, which makes the cocoon shell unreliable. This Sericulture pupa is as such a waste product, but nutritionally it is very rich in protein. It has been seen by the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean scientists. It has a lot of biomedical. It has been used to have wound. It is used in the wound dressings. It has been seen having hepatoprotective effect. It has been also observed to have to regulate the blood glucose and lipid levels. It also acts as anti-cancer agent in the powdered form. But if we take out the oil out of the Sericulture pupa, it contains an important compound in it, that is omega-3 fatty acid. As all of us know that omega-3 fatty acids are not produced by the human body, but then we have to exogenously take them. These omega-3 fatty acids, they are so important. They are used to fight the depression and anxiety. These omega-3 fatty acids, they improve eye health. They are good for heart. They reduce triglycerides. They can fight inflammation, and also they can prevent cancer. One more diversification in sericulture is the nutraceutical application of the Sericulture pupa. Is nothing but an entomopathogenic fungi that parasitize insects and spiders. These cordyceps, they produce some fruiting bodies named cordyceps mushrooms. Cordyceps mushrooms in Korea, Japan, and China, they have for hundreds of years, they have been used in the traditional folk medicine or as a food ingredient to strengthen their immune system and regain energy. Out of the many strains that have been identified, Cordyceps militaris is the common strain commercially used. Our collaborator in Bangalore, Aspartica Biotech Private Limited, my project collaborator, they have actually launched recently during this pandemic only. They have launched some products as immunoboosters. And even they have launched against the corona to boost the immunity against the corona, like Cordyceps capsules they have released, launched. They have released the Cordyceps tea, which is also called as Cordy tea. Cordyceps infusion they have developed, and they have also launched the Cordyceps chapati, which is also called as beam roti. Then Cordyceps health drink also they have developed very recently. These Cordyceps actually, they contain an important compound that is called cordycepin, which has the antiviral properties. And you may be surprised to know that according to the economic times, during 13th December 2017, they have reported that Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, is fond of having cordyceps, which cost around 1.5 to 5 lakh per kgs. Such a huge cost, and which he imports from Taiwan. Here in the figure, if you can see cordyceps production on Sericulture pupae, left side, black color. Cordyceps has a property, they grow on the dead bodies. They need the animal matter. They grow on the animal matter, dead animal matter also. Here, this is the growth. With regard to the attributes of these cordyceps, they work against the cancer. These cordyceps, they reinforce immunity. These cordyceps work to relieve the fatigue. They work against the aging effect. Also, they protect the liver, and also they work to relieve stress. One more important attribute is the, one second. Sericulture, one more product diversification sericulture is the Sericulture powder. Here, what is done? Silkworms are not reared for the cocoon production. Silkworms are reared for silk powder, not for the cocoon. There is a Korean proverb: a silkworm a day keeps the disease away. Because of the active ingredients present in the silkworm, the powder of silkworm is powdered, and it is used to treat Alzheimer's disease It is used to reduce the diabetes. It is used to reduce fatigue, and it is used to make the muscles strong. Then coming to sericin, as I have already discussed, there are two proteins in the cocoon. One is fibroin and another is sericin. Sericin is a gummy protein, which is actually usually discarded by the textile industry. This is the gummy protein. During the degumming process, it is being thrown away. It goes along the water. But it has a high scientific and commercial value. Why? Because of having the highly hydrophilic amino acids and its antioxidant potential. These properties make it possible for sericin to be applied in food and cosmetic industry. Cosmetic applications like sericin alone or in combination with fibroin has been used in skin, hair, and nail cosmetics. Sericin, when used in the form of lotion, cream, or ointments, show increased skin elasticity or anti-wrinkle or anti-aging effects. With regard to its medical applications, this sericin possesses the property of wound healing. It stimulates proliferation. It protects against the ultraviolet radiations. Because of its antioxidant properties, it has been used as anti-tumor, antimicrobial, and anti-inflammatory agent. There is one company that is Sericulture. You might have heard about it. They have launched one product that's called Morning Fresh, based on the sericin product. This product relieves the kick after the alcohol consumption. Okay. Recently, I have got one project funded by Bharat DBT New Delhi in collaboration with Aspartica Biotech Private Limited, Bangalore. A title you can see: conversion of the silkworm bombex mori droppings into value-added products in Jammu and Kashmir. With the grant in aid of 47.85 lakhs. The main objective of this project is to convert waste into wealth. Silkworm dropping, it is a waste product. Silkworm droppings are waste products, waste material. If we can see in this Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, silkworm litter or silkworm excreta are produced to the tune of 5,000 metric tons. And if you see that of the Karnataka, it goes more than lakhs of metric tons per year. But this silkworm excreta contains an important biomolecule. It contains an important bioactive ingredient that's called 1-deoxynogermycin or 1-DNJ, deoxynogermycin. That is an alkaloid, which has a lot of benefits, like it reduces this alkaloid reduces cholesterol. It acts as anti-diabetic agent. It has antiviral properties. Even the scientists in Japan, they have used this alkaloid which they have extracted from the root of the black mulberry. They have utilized in the prevention of the AIDS. It minimizes the effect of the AIDS. It has also been seen that it has the anti-obesity effect, this 1-DNJ. What my aim would be, my first objective would be to extract this DNJ. Extract the DNJ from the silkworm litter or silkworm excreta by supercritical carbon dioxide extraction. Once I extract, I would use this in the poultry as a poultry supplement. Why I will use in the poultry supplement? Because directly I cannot give it to the humans because of the ethical issues. यहाँ पे कोई खाएगा नहीं silkworm litter. Chinese लोग तो खाते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पे तो कोई खाएगा नहीं. Chinese लोग directly they'll put in the bag like a tea bag. It looks like a tea. They simply in the morning they take it and they would have healthy life. But in India there are a lot of ethical issues. We cannot use silkworm excreta as a.
Sir, please speed up. We have limited time.
This is final. This is final.
Okay, sir.
But okay, then once we would be extracting this DNJ from the silkworm excreta, so supercritical extraction, I would be supplementing this in the poultry feed. Once I give it to the as a supplement to the poultry feed, this DNJ will go into the muscles of the. We have actually checked it, goes into the muscles of this chick. it goes in muscles of the chicken, and even that has to be checked. But there is a lot of possibilities are there that it will go into the egg. So we can go for designer eggs or designer chicks we are intending to make. Now, after supercritical extraction, what are the remnants of the supercritical extraction? We can use that excreta as agricultural fertilizer. I hope you could have you have understood this thing. Project main aim of this project.
Thank you.
It is just to encourage the students.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for enlightening us with various techniques of sericulture. We have one question for Umar Rashid. What's the current status of sericulture industry in Jammu and Kashmir?
Current status is, as I have already discussed, that is 118 metric tons it is producing. Current status means it is not growing so, but it is at a standstill condition.
Okay, one more question is there. Is there any side effect with
I am unable to hear you.
Is there any?
Sir, I have a question. Hello, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
What are the biggest hurdles as far as this sector is concerned in Jammu and Kashmir? Why it is not flourishing as such?
As per Jammu and Kashmir, the first hurdle in Jammu and Kashmir is that we go for monocropping system. Actually, the farmers here, they go for monocropping system. They don't get inclined towards sericulture because of the monocropping system. Like that, यहाँ पे हमारा क्या होता है, सिर्फ एक crop होता है. But as एक crop से दो crop, at maximum we can take 3 crops in reality, but that is not being taken. But if we compare to the Karnataka state, there the farmer takes around 12 crops. Where is the 12 and where is 1 or 2 crops? That is one of the constraints. And one more constraint is the availability of the leaf. Farmer doesn't have the availability of यहाँ पे mulberry की इतनी ज़्यादा, we don't have abundant availability of the leaf with the farmers. Farmers have to beg and borrow somewhere around in the nurseries or go to the wherever they find. They thrive on they are dependent on the wild mulberries, which are on the roadsides. You may be seeing the tree type plantation, and that tree type plantation we don't get good nutritional leaf. Hope I have understood your question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Now I would like to invite Professor Nazneen Qureshi to share a vote of thanks.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
In the name of Allah, Honorable Principal, esteemed Professor Mushtaq Ahmed Loan Sahab, distinguished guests, and all participants, very good afternoon to all of you. It's my extreme privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this webinar. I, Professor Nazneen Qureshi, as coordinator webinar, and on the behalf of college, NSS program officers, especially Professor Saima Said, and coordinator Inter Quality Assurance Cell, Professor Shabir Ahmed, pay hearty thanks to the Dr. Abid Khaliq, Tantre, Assistant Professor cum Junior Scientist at cost. This was thank you very much, sir. May Allah reward you abundantly for giving vibrant and wonderful speech. Thank you, sir. I accept my valuable thanks for my Wadi principal for giving us a time and arranged a time, giving us a precious time out of their busy schedule. Bundle of thanks to the Honorable Principal, sir. This webinar was out of question without the support rendered by the organizing secretaries, Professor Shabir Sahab, for their technical support. I also extend my thanks to the Dr. Adil Ahmad Shah and Dr. Javed Sahab. And once again, I mention special thanks to the coordinator IQAC for inspiring us time and again. Lastly, my deep sense of appreciation for all all the participants for their patient care. At the end, thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
And we'll see you next time. Till then, Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.
Feedback link will be shared in the chat box.
Telegram.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp group. हाँ जो feed
Please share feedback link, please.
हाँ वो उस WhatsApp ग्रुप में हम शेयर करेंगे feedback link. Okay, thank you all.
So shall we call it a day?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.